My name is Samantha Lewis. I am a senior at Georgia Highlands College. I graduate next month. That's May of 2022 with my Bachelor's of Health Science and my Associate's in Psychology. Coming in the fall, in August of 2022, I will be starting my process for my master's program. I was accepted at University of West Georgia for the Sport Management program, Master's in Science. So I'm really excited about it. I kind of want to give you guys a preface of what you're going to find here today. I want to let you guys know that the pictures or the images that you might see in this video presentation are not necessarily the views that I hold politically. It is simply a review of the literature. So on your screen, you're going to see a QR code. That QR code will take you directly to my personal website where all of my projects are hosted. So if you have any interest, you're welcome to check it out. So the objectives for this particular project, I am in the honors program at Georgia Highlands College. Our honors program is just a little bit different in that you can choose any class that you're currently in to take honors credit. I was really excited about this class. I was really excited about leadership in general. I still am. One of the things that I wanted to let you guys know is that I was thrown into a leadership position at Georgia Highlands College a couple of years ago. And that's when this project started taking hold, and I started thinking, I really need to get deeper into the leadership and the skills that it takes to become an exceptional leader. I secured myself an internship at a hospice facility, and very soon after I secured it, lost it thanks to COVID. I went and found myself another internship opportunity here on campus at Georgia Highlands College as a research assistant for a 120-hour internship. I was so excited about this particular project. I always knew in the honors program that I wanted to use different platforms for every single honors project that I did. And the best way for me to do a podcast was this particular class, leadership. So let's talk about what leadership is. I have a couple of different definitions for you, 3 to be exact. So if you want to talk about the actual Oxford version of English language dictionary definition, we're talking about the ability to lead people or an organization. It's a very simple definition. I found a definition that I really liked that I wanted to share with you guys. I want to let you know that I am going to read this definition because it is kind of lengthy. It is a really important definition. I want to make sure I get all the words right. So, according to the U.S. Army's Field Manual, the process of influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation while operating to accomplish the mission and improve the organization. Now, I really like that definition. I thought that that definition was key because for me, I also have a personal definition. And my personal definition is an exceptional leader is someone who can accept constructive criticism and take that constructive criticism and put it to play, still while being able to effectively lead your team or your organization. I think that's the key takeaway that I took away from becoming a leader within the undergraduate research program. And it is kind of something that I've carried with me since then. It's been a couple years. So my methodology for this particular project, I created this flyer. And I sent it out to every leader that I could find at Georgia Highlands College. Now, the way that I did that is I went to the website and I looked at the leaders, or I looked at the people that were listed on the website, and I tried to figure out who were the leaders. I have a couple of mentors here on the campus, so I sent that list to them. They're like, hey, you need to add these people. I said, okay, so I basically just made this flyer and I sent it out and kind of called it an opportunity for them. If you look down in the bottom of the screen, you'll see just right down there that you'll see that it was a podcast all call. This is your chance to learn how to podcast is created and all those things. So I kind of sold it to that. So I sent out this email and I had this amazing, overwhelming response. Everybody was in. Everybody wanted to do it. Everybody was willing to help, and I was so elated. I spent about a week back-to-back interviews doing them over and over, and it was fantastic. I got to rub elbows with all the leaders of the school that I go to. I got to make an impression on them, and then I ended up being able to, first name basis with the interim president, which is a really big deal to me. So this actual QR code will take you to the podcast series. There are 12 episodes. 12 different leaders, and 12 different skills that are covered. Now, I want you to know that in leadership, there are many more than 12 skills. But when I started talking to people, I had to pull it back in. There were so many people, and I only had 5 weeks. So 5 weeks to get it done. My classes are 8-week classes. So I knew going in that I had to do my research. I had to figure out what all this stuff was. I had to get the emails back. I had to make the scheduling. I had to reserve the podcast booth. There was a lot going on in there. So I just wanted to get it done as quickly as possible. So I picked the 12 and brought them in, and they each covered a specific skill. So one leader per skill per episode, 12 episodes, one podcast series. It's actually really cool. There we go. There are several different leadership styles. There are so many different leadership styles, but I was just going to bring 5 to the table. And the only reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to understand, kind of be able to relate leadership styles with particular leaders. And that's what we're going to do here today. So our first one is the authoritarian leadership style. A lot of people don't really realize what authoritarian means. So basically, if you're a leader who is an authoritarian leadership style, you are going to be a leader who is going to say, this is what we're going to do, and this is what's going to happen once we do it. Okay? They make the plan, and they suggest the outcomes. We are the people, the followers, who are going to do what they say, and we are trusting them that they are going to give us the results that we anticipate, or that they anticipate that we're going to receive from that. This leadership style is used when a team needs clear guidelines. I want you to understand, with authoritarian leadership style, what we're going to see is we're going to see consistent results. When we see those consistent results, we're going to have to sacrifice something to get those consistent results, and what we're sacrificing is creativity and innovation. The 3 leaders that I have listed for you for authoritarian, on the left you have Benito Mussolini. He was an Italian dictator. In the center you have Steve Jobs. Everybody knows who Steve Jobs is. He was at the forefront of the founding of the personal computer, what we walk around with in our hands and our back pockets every day. And on your right you have Kim Jong-un. He was the General Secretary of the Workers of Korea. He was the chairman of the Central Military Commission. He's also the president of state affairs. Next, we have a transformational leadership style. Now, with transformational leadership styles, what the leaders are doing is they're encouraging and empowering their team members to achieve goals that they have created. On your left, you're going to see Ronald Reagan. Now, Ronald Reagan was the 40th president. He was very, very, very involved in foreign affairs. He was involved in the bombing of Libya, the Iran-Iraq war, and the ongoing Cold War. In the center, you have Martin Luther King Jr. Everyone knows that Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights legend. He led almost 600 people across 54 miles in 5 days on a peaceful protest to end segregation and prejudice. Now, on the right, we have Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was the first Black woman to own a production company, and at one point, she was the highest paid talk show host on television. Now we have precipitative leadership style. Basically what we're saying here is we're involving the team members in everything. We want the team members and the management or the leaders to be on the same page. And what this is going to do is it involves the team members in decision making. And what you're going to lose when you get that what your con is to that is that it's going to be time consuming to make decisions. You have a lot of people trying to make a lot of decisions in a short period of time, and that could take up some time. Here I have a couple leaders for you. On the left you have Indra Nooyi. Now she's the CEO of PepsiCo, and then on your right, that's going to be Bill Gates. Everybody knows Bill Gates. Bill Gates was the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation. Then we have a delegative leadership style. What we're doing in delegative is we're delegating. We're delegating responsibilities to our team members, and we're creating a positive work environment. However, because we are involving every team member, it can lower productivity a little bit. So just want to keep that in mind. All right, we have three leaders here. On the left, you're going to see Martin Van Buren. Martin Van Buren was the 8th president of the United States. He was considered a shrewd politician. In the center, I have Herbert Hoover. He was an active cabinet member of the United States, and he was also involved in air travel, like creating air travel, being at the forefront of air travel, and also radio. So I feel like it's a really big deal. Then on your right, you have Warren Buffett. He's been called the most successful investor of the 20th century. He has made over $60 billion just defying trends. In transactional leadership style, the leader is setting very specific goals and is rewarding their team for making those goals. This can eliminate or minimize confusion about what is expected. In the transactional leadership style, empathy just isn't valued. All right. So you're going to find transactional leaders a lot in athletic coaches. The guy on the left, if you're a football fan, everybody knows this is Vince Lombardi. Now, Vince Lombardi was the head coach and the general manager for the Green Bay Packers. He had 3 NFL championships under his belt, including Super Bowl I and Super Bowl II, which I think is a really big deal. And then the guy on the right, I have to be honest, the reason why he's here is because he's my personal hero. His name is Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox was general manager for the Atlanta Braves. He managed over 3,000 games. He has a record in baseball, which is probably one of my favorite records ever. He was thrown out of the game 158 times. For me, what that says is that he is standing up for his team, for the team to be winners, to produce winning results. In 1991, the Braves went worst to first. They were 9.5 games back after the All-Star game, which is about halfway through the season. So that kind of gives you an idea of his leadership style and what he was able to accomplish in a few short months, going from 9.5 games back all the way to first. That is an amazing feat to me. So our results, what did we get out of this? Basically, what I got out of this is I was, again, able to rub elbows with these leaders of the school. I invested myself. They invested time in me. I was able to go and get my letters of recommendation from them for graduate school, which worked. Got into grad school, and I start in the fall, like I said earlier when I first started. So this is a really big deal for me. My results were unparalleled. I can't really explain to you what it afforded me with being able to walk around and call, the interim president of Georgia Highlands College by her first name, or by talking to the vice president of finance about his kids. So for me as a student, that's a really big deal. And I think that's what I take away mostly from that. So I really, really, really want to thank all the leaders, everyone. Thanks so much.